What's up guys, Nolan here, and we got a ton of news again today from BSG, with a lot of it likely getting mixed feelings from most of the community, so I'm going to break it up to make it as easy as possible to understand, with this video being mostly about timelines of the closest updates. If you want to hear specifics about how the BTR is actually something that you can hire to help you in raid, or how it actually won't be the only vehicle coming, or how we will also be getting the RPG to help counter it, and much more, that video will be later, so stay tuned for that. However, for this video, first things first, Nikita confirmed that there will not be a TarkovTV cast for patch 12.11, and there was no confirmation on its date or whether it would be a wipe or not. I don't know if this is this new community lead that they got from Blizzard or what, but they've completely gone off the books on everything nowadays. I almost feel like the guy watches my videos and then tells them to do the exact opposite. It really is that different from what they used to do when it came to giving us news about the game. So as crazy as that sounds, if that does end up being the truth, then I hope he's ready for a war, because I am definitely not going to be stopping this anytime soon. Now, before we get into the rest of it, all of this is of course subject to change, keep that in mind, and none of it is actually to an official capacity, because it's all people just talking to Nikita in a very chill setting, with him answering from memory off the top of his head, which can easily lead to any number of translation and or just common mistakes. So we are currently living in the soon TM zone, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing can be confirmed or corroborated on at all, past the fact that of course it's from Nikita himself, but remember, English is not his first language and he is only human, so he can make mistakes. That is why it's so important to get the official TarkovTV things from time to time. And with that, I hope you guys like the Thursday and soon TM memes, because those are definitely not going to be going anywhere anytime soon, especially since there might actually be something this coming Thursday. Since there is no TarkovTV, that means 12.11 can drop any day, and we will have no warning other than maybe an event of some kind. Nikita today specifically said to be prepared for some cool stuff next week, immediately followed by him saying hopefully starting next week. Just again, a soon TM with nothing to go off of. So Nikita seems to think that there will be something happening in-game hopefully next week. That could mean a special event like the free labs thing they were talking about, or it could be a unique economy event that can involve literally anything from guns to meds to ammo, or it could be a pre-wipe event. We don't know. Either way, once we do find out what it is, you'll hear about it here on the channel. Now here is the next doozy from today. Nikita said that Streets of Tarkov likely will not be coming this year. Now I get he didn't want to annoy him and this was a quick Q&A, but unfortunately Pesley didn't get a specific clarification of the entire location or the first part of it, because I get that sounds pretty clear with what Nikita said, but I know that that is something that can easily get lost in translation, especially since he said likely. Hopefully if anyone hearing this right now has any connection to Nikita at all, we can get a clarification on whether or not we will get at least the first part of Streets this year, however small that might be, because theoretically they could just chop it down to whatever the size of the first tease area was and call that the first release of Streets, and then expand from there. And the reason why I say that is because Nikita mentioned Streets being broken up into 10 to 20 different expansions, and that was just today. He also mentioned that you could almost play the entire game on just that one location, and if you combined all of the other maps together, their combined area would still be smaller than just the Streets location. If it's true that we will not be getting even just the first part of Streets this year, then we also don't know if it's taking patch 13 along with it, and any confirmed wipe on top of that. And this is because the only confirmed wipes that we have are for those major content releases, which would be patch 13. So if patch 13 is staying the Streets patch and it isn't coming this year, then that slides the entire timeline back into the unknown for any guesses at the next wipe. The only reason I was so confident about 12.11 is because it will be this month and allows enough time to have a full wipe cycle between 12.11 and patch 13, when we thought patch 13 was definitely going to be the end of this year. However, now if patch 13 is no longer coming this year, that means whatever patch comes with Lighthouse is back on the table. There is so much here to talk about and explain. I think it will make most people confused. So what I'll say here is that however crazy it might sound, I actually still think 12.11 will be a wipe because of the Scav Karma feature and because of how far away Lighthouse still is. Scav Karma was confirmed by Nikita today to come with 12.11, and I think BSG knows it would be a complete waste of time if it wasn't with a wipe, because they need people to be playing their Scavs. So that is because of the gameplay needed to properly test that feature. Moving past that, whatever patch Lighthouse will now come with will now matter much more, as they just moved 70% of the art team off of Streets and onto Lighthouse. If that's the case, then they must be on the asset creation phase if it needs that many people, which would make it still a couple months out. And if you think that means any kind of confirmation that we won't be seeing Streets this year, they were likely working on a part of Streets that wouldn't be coming with the first iteration of Streets anyway, so I don't think it'll matter too much in that regard. So all in all, the bad news there is that there is a better chance that 12.11 will not be a wipe now, and even though this isn't really necessarily bad news, it will just drop on us with little warning other than some kind of event thing, and should be in the next week or so. Again, second big part of that is that Streets is likely to not be coming this year anymore, depending on the size of the first part that they want to release. And the last part of that bad news being that trying to keep up with this is going to give me a brain aneurysm. It's okay though, because jokes on the aneurysm, you need a functioning brain first, and I decided to base a YouTube channel on Escape from Tarkov news, so that tells you everything that you need to know about my mental state as is. That's not all that came up today, but I wanted to make sure I got everything right, so if you want to know absolutely everything being discussed right now, like what I mentioned before with the BTRs and the RPGs and stuff, you can come join the discussion that we're having right now in our new Discord. The link is below. You will also find a link to the new extended Streets tease with only in-game audio, so it sounds really cool, along with just showing more of that location. That link is going to be below as well. However, that is all for now, guys. I'll get that other video up about all the rest of the stuff that came up today as soon as I can, so stay tuned. But until then, for now, guys, if you want the latest Escape from Tarkov news, check out these playlists here. You can join our new Discord below. If you like this video, then you know the drill. Please subscribe. I really appreciate the people who do. Otherwise, I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.